Welcome to the show, everyone. To my video viewers, to my radio audience on 4680q.com. That's where we are here today. Welcome to Trash Talking Tuesday. My name is Paul Lemire, your city, your voice. And like I say, from the studios of 4680q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Wow, right across from that giant meteor crater. That's it. I look over there and I see the meteor crater. It's looking pretty weedy today. It's getting dry over there too because there hasn't been any rain. 61 degrees when I got up at 5:30 this morning, dew on the vehicles, and it's really nice for this time of year. We crossed the halfway mark of September. Can't complain. Air conditioning weather for sure. It's that warm out. But I can't remember the last time it rained. It's got to be what, at least a couple weeks since it rained. I don't even remember. Everything's dry again. It's crazy. But you know what? The weather can turn on a dime. We know that. Everybody knows that, and that's why you have to go to our sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Of course, you know the weather's going to change. You want to be proactive. You want to make sure that your car is running tip top when we get into the bad weather, because there's nothing worse than standing outside your car like a total schmuck. The car broken down on the side of the road. It's pouring rain out, that cold October, November rain, and you're broken down on the side of the road. How miserable is that? Yeah, you don't want that to happen. So what do? You take your car right now when we have this nice weather. It's nice out. The Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Go see Ken Hunter. He's going to put your car on his diagnostic equipment. He's going to handle all the error codes that come up if there's any. He's going to check your brakes, your heating system, everything you need so that you can get through the winter with no problem. That's what he does. Be proactive, not reactive. Change that oil. Do all the things you should do to keep your car safe for the winter. And if you get in a wreck, he's got a full body shop. And guess what? Takes your car in wreck, sends it back to you in showroom condition. How can you beat that? Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop on Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership, wildbillsauto.ca. Now, while you're at wildbillsauto.ca checking out all the services they provide, just slip over to YouTube in the video here. Slip over to my YouTube channel, Paul Lemire, or Your City, Your Voice. I mean, you can look them up. And subscribe to the channel. I mean, come on. We're at 171. We want to get to 200. The more, the merrier. I'd like to have 2,000 because now we got a contingent that we can get together and we can go after this election next October. Have an election coming up in a year. And we want to make sure that we're getting the best of the best in there. We don't want slackers. We want people who are going to read the agenda and work for us and do the right thing for the cities. We want them to be good guardians of your tax dollars. Have some common sense. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today because we have city council coming up today at 4 o'clock. Don't forget, the show starts at around 5. It officially starts at 4, but they're still in camera and they don't get out usually till around 5 or so, give or take. And so you want to tune into that, niagarafalls.ca live. You can tune in there. You can go to YouTube and tune in on it. Or you can go to Cogeco. Once in a while, the local Cogeco station will run the city council election. So don't forget about that this afternoon. I'll definitely be watching it with my little printout of the agenda and see where they're going and what they're talking about. And that's up today too. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things, a little bit more about the Charlie Kirk situation, a little bit about Carney, a little bit about situation over in regional council. Interesting. But first, we're going to get to viewer comments. And I just want to mention my other sponsors, which we will get to later. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. So let's get into the show. First, viewer comments. At the Iceman 69, we need more ping pong tables. Great comment, John. Great comment. I love it because I always talk about the $25,000 concrete ping pong table, the custodians of your money, Blue. I always talk about that. That one bothers me. That really bothers me, that one. $25,000 for a concrete ping pong table, and I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it, but boy, oh boy, this better be something special for 25 G's. Funny, John. Funny. I probably mentioned it on my city council review yesterday. That's probably why he mentioned it. But he had another really good comment at the Iceman 69. He says to me, "You don't even know where Burning Springs Hill is. Try looking at a map once in a while. You're thinking of Fraser Hill." Yes, 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 Johnny. You are absolutely correct. I stand corrected. You're right. I didn't know where Burning Springs Hill was. Actually, I knew where it was. I didn't know what it was called. I always just called that Duff Hill. That's what I called it because it's the road that goes from Portage Road down to Duff, right into Duff. That's what that road is. And I never even thought of it being called Burning Springs Hill Road. I mean, Burning Springs used to be up where the embassy is, up in that area, Fallsview area, where Seagram's Tower is. What do they call it now? We used to call it Seagram's Tower. It's been Minolta Tower. But that's where the Burning Springs Wax Museum used to be. So I figured the road down below, which was the one I'm thinking of, was called that. But John's right. It's Fraser Hill. It's Fraser Hill. It's always been Fraser Hill. And that's exactly what I was thinking of, John. So way to point that out to me. Way to correct me. Yes, I stand corrected. My comments still apply, though. I'd still like to see one main road coming off that Marineland Parkway going down there and winding down to Fraser Hill and down to that new hotel they're building down there. That would be an excellent access to it, as well as deal with Mount Carmel and that cut that road off and make it like a roundabout or a turnaround down by the tramway that goes down to the park, down to the Table Rock House behind the casino or at the back of the casino. So, and if they take Burning Hills Springs Road, yeah, go ahead, take it. Parks Commission, take it and do something nice with it for Duff. It's always really been part of Duff. If you want to get right down to it, I've always considered it, and I just thought it was Duff Hill or something like that. We called it when we were kids, but Burning Springs Hill. There you go. Thanks for the correction, John. Right on the ball. Right on the ball. And thank you for watching, because you would have to be watching if you caught that mistake. Fantastic. Thanks, John. Okay, they're the only comments. I never had any other comments. So we're at September 15th today. I think today's the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's the 16th. Yesterday was the 15th, but it's time to pay our taxes due at the 30th of the month, at the end of the month. So I paid my final installment, $986 flat. That's an ouch to your bank account. Just $1,000 gone. Just like that. They made it disappear. They're very, very good Houdini City Council. And every time I think of that payment, I think of going down the jawbreaker and ruining my liver, disrupting my blood flow, and also giving me a headache and probably destroying the suspension on my car. I mean, I don't know if you've been down there lately, but those railway tracks are even worse. And that's that little stretch of road between Morrison Street and Thorold Stone Road, but it really gets bad after the tracks by Greek on Portage. And that is a nightmare. And every time I go over that, I think of my taxes. I think how much I've paid in taxes over the last few years with a 25% increase over the next 4 years. We're looking at a 6% increase this year so far. We haven't got the final number yet. I'm thinking, I probably paid enough to fix that road myself. So imagine what all the other citizens of Niagara Falls are chipping in, and they haven't got that road fixed yet. It's embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. It's sickening. What the heck is that? I hear music. It's the angels. It's the angel music. But anyway, while our mayor does the chicken dance at his birthday party he threw for himself, Our roads are a mess, but they want more cameras. Take pictures of you while you're traveling. I don't know how anybody can speed on that road. Does anybody dare speed on that road? Never. You don't have to put one there. That's one good thing. You want to slow down traffic, let the roads go to crap. Potholes, slow down traffic. You don't need speed cameras. Okay, so we're getting crapped all over the place here. 6% proposed. Hydro, natural gas, water. I mean, they're all going to be increased, of course. They always are. Gasoline, carbon tax is back. Not much to celebrate as we go into the fourth quarter of 2025, is there? October, November, December starts the fourth quarter. Excuse me. They have a sip of vodka here, calm me down. Big story in the review regarding the University of Niagara Falls. After a huge post by local resident Mike Lucid regarding the University of Niagara Falls, Gus, the mayor, CEO Jason Burgess, and the inaugural president and CEO of University of Niagara Falls, one Cindy McLeod. You have to check out LinkedIn. If you're a member of LinkedIn, you go in there. The article's posted in there if you want to see it. Skating report on the UF of NF and the morality of it. A diploma mill at best, skirting immigration rules, using bird courses for big enrollment money and possible payola. Who knows? With Mike claiming he has the goods on these people and proof that he is going to release soon. Soon? I don't know what soon means, but it's going to be soon. And, if you ever saw Mike on my show, he's been on my show twice. He's a no-nonsense guy. He sits here with a stack of papers backing up everything he says. I'm pretty sure that he has something. Because he's been investigating this since they said they were going to open this crazy thing. And I don't imagine that he's going to be coming in here if he does come in, and I want him to come in. We'll see in the next couple of weeks. I don't imagine that he'd be making these public statements if he didn't have some kind of proof. That's just the way Mike is. We'll see. Eventually, it's going to come to light. Now, King James went on the offensive in the review, defending Gus in the U of Niagara Falls as the king of universities. It's the king of universities. It's private, offering valuable courses to domestic and offshore people. He says it's not a diploma mill, no matter what anybody says. They offer high-end courses, graduate programs. These are not basket weaving courses, and they're expensive. He never said that. I did. It's pay for play, and the play is that golden student visa. That's what the pay for play is. The play is for the golden student visa that allows people from other places to skirt immigration laws and bring their families over to boot. I'm sure you've read about it. I mean, this has been all over the news. This isn't anything new. And as a matter of fact, the government stepped in and is limiting the number of student visas because they're fake students. If you don't believe it, you can look this up. 50,000 students who applied for student visas and came to Canada never attended their first day of class. So what are they doing here? And where are they? Who knows? They're working places, and there's another little scam involving that, and I talked about that before on my show. I won't go back to that. So they say it's not, but it is. Something going on. Anyway, the mayor went on to do what he does best, spew a Kamala Harris worthy word salad of accolades, claiming there are 3,300 students enrolled. Now, where are they? Nobody knows. Phantom students. Because I've never seen them. You go downtown, there's 50 students hanging around, maybe. That's it. I don't even know if you can put 3,300 students in the Hatch building as being schooled. I drive by the campus and I take a look all the time to see what's going on. I don't see a lot of people there. Not 3,300, 50, maybe 100. I don't know. And the University of Niagara Falls appears to have taken over another building on Queen Street, right across the street. Somebody sent me a picture of it. It's got a big sign, University of Niagara Falls, on it. So I don't know what they're doing there now, because they're supposed to be building a new campus downtown here. And from what I hear, it's earmarked for the old Cataract Ice property all the way to the bus terminal in that property right there. And they're also building a student residence on Queen Street in the old King Eddie parking lot, where the old King Eddie used to be. So I haven't seen any shovels turned. I haven't seen any happening yet, but apparently there's 3,300 people enrolled. Now, Mayor Jim says there's a different vibe downtown. So there's a different vibe downtown from the University of Niagara Falls. And I will agree with them. There is a different vibe down here. It's always been different. But I don't know. There's not a lot of students. Now, my question is, are they supporting the businesses down here? And that's what I have to ask. There's all kinds of coffee shops and that down here opening up. Are they making any money from these guys, these students? I mean, if they are, good for them, and the students are good for them. But I don't know if they are, and that's the question that we have to ask. I was going to go take a walk down Queen Street and ask. One day I have to get the energy to do that. I mean, but I have to admit, it looks a little bit better downtown. They're keeping it clean. Crews are on the streets cleaning up the mess. I don't see those homeless people in the doorways anymore, so they've shuffled them out of here, it looks like. So that's a good thing. They're keeping it cleaner down here. I noticed this year I didn't have to wait 10 weeks to have the meteor crater trimmed. They seem to be doing it on a regular basis and taking care of some of the properties down here a little bit better. So yeah, it might be a little bit nicer, Graham, but there's still a lot of stores that are boarded up. There's still a lot of junk buildings. There's still a lot of blown out buildings. I mean, you get off that train, it still looks pretty decrepit, to be honest with you. King James is calling it like night and day. I don't know if it's night and day. It's not quite there yet, I don't think. And I'm not sure about being down here at night, and in the daytime, it looks pretty rough, depending on where you go. But this whole university thing and that, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. Something rotten in Denmark. I don't think there's any students from Denmark, but Mike Lucid is the one to check it out. Stay tuned. I have to get Mike back on the show and tell us all about it, and he will be coming in. So that's going to be a good show. I'll announce it when it's coming on, when he's coming on, and that's going to be a real good show because we could get some revelations on the show. Maybe some breaking news. Thanks to Ray Spiteri of the review for the great story in the review about that. If you want to check it out, just go to the Niagara Falls Review website and you can read that story. That's where I go. I subscribe. What's it, $1 a day or $1 a week or so? It's pretty cheap. Pretty cheap to be subscribed to the review, and you get all these stories, see the obituaries and that kind of thing. Now I'm going to get over, because a lot of people want to talk about this, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We're going to go over that, but I want to get to my second sponsor first. We're going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to dwell on it a lot. There's a lot going on with it. I'm going to hit the highlights here and talk about it. I'm probably just about over that whole thing. I was really upset by it, but I'm about over it now. And now I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the truth of what really happened, because I mean, with these things, what you see isn't always what you get, especially with people with cameras and social media and these Discord chat groups where people are talking about everything. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, my second sponsor. And I'm a pizza snob. I admit it. I'm a pizza snob. I like my pizza the way I like my pizza. And there's a lot of places that just don't appeal to me. But I did find them, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and they are good. Why? Because they know what they're doing. They use the Mancini family recipe for the sauce and the crust. They put the blend of mozzarella and brick cheese on the pizza in the right ratio with the sauce. They know how to build it. Then you throw on fresh toppings, whatever you like. They have dozens of them. And away you go. You're good to go. You got a fantastic pizza. Cook it right, hot and fresh, ready to go. It's beautiful. They make a great pizza there, and they're consistent. They do it consistently, but that's not the only thing on the menu. Pizza. They have wings, which are really good, panzerotti, steak and cheese poutine, steak sandwiches. They have a lot of different things. And so at the end of the day, you know you're going to get something you like. You know it's going to be consistently good. I mean, how can you go wrong? Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, 905-374-2222 to order. Or you can go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca.com, petespizzavictoria.com. Yeah. And you'll see everything they have to offer. And and they're open till 2 in the morning, Friday, Saturday. And they're also open till midnight during the week for you. They're opening a new store, Kaler and Thoroldstone, for all our friends in the northwest part of Niagara Falls. Kaler and Thoroldstone's the latest edition of Pete's Pizza. Same owners, same great products, opening soon. And they're going to have some opening specials, so be ready for when they open. You can take advantage of those specials. Support our sponsors. They support the show. They're good people, good corporate citizens. Okay, over to Mr. Charlie Kirk. Pete Dichter was in talking about it last week, and I was even going to do a show there on Thursday. After I saw this happen, there's so much more to this than just a guy getting killed. He was a presence, and it could mean a turning point for a lot of things. And he was assassinated. They made it sound like he was killed. No, he wasn't just killed. He was assassinated. He was taken out for his beliefs. But, I think that you can feel the turning point in America. People from all over the world are honoring him. Sports teams, sports figures. It doesn't matter who you see on the internet and that. They're all honoring Charlie Kirk. And I think people need to make something sensible out of this. Why? Why did he get killed? None of this makes sense. There's vigils being held across America. People praying for Charlie Kirk and his family. I mean, it's become a real global event. And the really crazy thing is that, all the time we're saying right-wing people, the conservatives, Republicans, if you will, no matter what you want to call them, we say we are not like the left-wing radicals. They're mentally ill. And we keep saying that. And then, people point to different things. But the bottom line is, after this assassination, I haven't read of or even heard of one riot, one looting, one building being torched and burnt down, people on the street shooting at each other, people on the street fighting with police. You haven't heard of any of that. The exact opposite of what happened when George Floyd was killed. And it's just an interesting comparison of the left and right. The left keeps calling us the party of violence, but the truth is right there for everybody to see that they're not the party of violence. Party of violence are the Democrats. It's right there in black and white now. People can see it. And there's a lot of Democrats that are leaving their party because this isn't the way they want to be represented. Taking out the opponent, which they tried to do with Trump, if you remember, taking out that opponent and killing him rather than dealing with them or debating with them. I mean, Charlie Kirk was the opposite of violence. He wanted dialogue. He would debate anybody. That was his whole thing. Going to these universities and debating these kids that are being indoctrinated and showing them why maybe there's another path they could take. But I mean, at the end of the day, all these people that are saying negative things about Charlie and make, dancing on his grave, so to speak, they have the right to do that. There is freedom of speech, much like Charlie had the right to go and talk about what he talked about. And some people didn't like it and they wanted to shut him up, and they finally did. But there is freedom of speech. But what people who lean on freedom of speech have to remember that there's not a guaranteed freedom from consequence that goes along with freedom of speech. Say what you want, but there could be consequences to your actions. And we are seeing that happen right now. A lot of these people who have been dancing on Charlie's grave are getting fired from their jobs. They're being let go. They're unemployed. And that's because the companies they work for do not ascribe to their views. And they don't want their company associated with that. I mean, regardless of what we think of Charlie Kirk, somebody being assassinated in front of millions of viewers and a bunch of kids going to university. I mean, how can anybody be happy about that? Only somebody mentally ill could be, and that's why these people are getting rid of these employees. So remember, freedom of speech does not guarantee freedom of consequence. So when you're talking, you could be taken to task. We're going to talk about somebody who got up in a video and talked about it in a second here. But everything's far from over. They've unleashed something with this assassination that'll be unequaled in history, perhaps, a movement to the right. Since his death, 18,000 new chapters of Turning Point USA have been applied for. His Instagram account stood at 1.7 million. Now it stands at 10.6 million. It's growing. Thousands of people from the left as well as the right are joining. They unleashed something that we're going to see in the future coming down the pipe here, and might not be pretty. And I'm not talking about pretty violence and civil war and all that. I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see that. There's vigils and prayer, candlelight vigils, respect for Charlie Kirk, and sincere sympathy that he died and for his family. But for me, this whole thing doesn't add up. You know me, I'm a conspiracy theory guy, and I don't think there's a conspiracy going on about Charlie being dead, although I've seen that one too. He's not really dead. He just wanted to get out of it because there's too many people trying to kill him, so he faked his own death and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's always a possibility of that, but, that was with Elvis and Michael Jackson and, everybody else too, right? But I think he's dead. So I won't go along with that. But how it all happened is a lot of people questioning what really happened. I mean, the guy travels 250 miles to shoot Kirk, manages to evade all security and get into a high point with a rifle, takes one shot. Kills Kirk perfectly, and then escapes. Somehow he dismantles the gun before he gets off the roof. Then he gets off the roof by jumping down to the ground, running away. And then he goes and leaves the gun in a forest, but he leaves it in one piece, so he had to stop and put it back together. Now, why anybody would do that is beyond me. That doesn't make sense. And then he gets home after this huge adventure. What's his name? I don't know. I can't remember his name. But anyway, the guy, who cares? His big adventure, he confesses to the cops, turns himself in. That's pretty weird. Why not just stand there with your hands on your head, lay down on the ground and say, it was me, take me in? Why go through all the other stuff? So here are a few questions that I have, and some of them were answered this morning. I was watching Gary Franchi, and he was talking about with Cash Patel, and they managed to get into this guy's Discord chat group, and he admitted it right on there that he had shot Charlie Kirk. So a lot of these questions might be answered when I get into the Discord chat a lot more. And the funny thing is, all these people knew it was him because he told them, apparently, allegedly. They knew it was him, but yet they never told police. And they even talked about splitting up the $100,000 reward, whacking it up and turning him in. So there was another shooter identified just after the shooting. It was a transgender who actually wrote a song, Charlie Kirk Dead at 31, and had actually harassed Charlie at another rally using a megaphone to talk. And he was also from Utah. What happened to that guy? That was the first suspect they put down. That was the first guy. So pretty weird that there's Bob Benner from Hamel Machine Company right there. So what happened to that guy? And then they pulled out another old man. I know that, but of course, he was not a suspect. They had somebody else in custody, and all of a sudden he disappeared. But this guy here with the megaphone man, transgender, what happened to that guy? Now, My number two thing is a 22-year-old is confident in long range shooting. So he's so confident he only brings one bullet to the dance. That's it. One shot, one kill. I mean, in Butler, the same type of kid, that age, took a shot at Trump, took 8 shots. This guy was good enough, like a professional, although he wasn't a professional. Nobody's saying that. He was pretty confident that he could go with one bullet and kill this guy. Pretty wild. For a trained assassin, that's what they do. Yeah, they only need one bullet. They only take one bullet. Perfect shot. Seems like a 1,000,000 to 1 chance that the perfect shot to kill Kirk could have come from this kid. Yeah, many experts said it wouldn't be a big deal with the rifle, but up on there with the adrenaline flowing, worried about getting caught, and aiming, and the guy's under a tent. He had to get it just right. Perfect shot. One shot. He didn't have 3 or 4. One bullet, one shot, one kill under stressful circumstances. Makes you think if he actually did it or there was another shooter somewhere else. And that's been talked about as well. The weird signals that Charlie's security guards were giving. There was a guy tipping his hat and pulling his ear like a third base coach in professional baseball. The other guy was tapping his arm. There's a lot of different things going on around Charlie when this happened. What were those guys all about? They're part of his security detail. And people say, well, your security detail. Well, guess what? Trump had a security detail too. And this guy managed to get up on the roof. Everybody saw him. Nobody said anything. And he got off 8 shots before they took him out. So if you don't think there was something weird about that, then I don't know what to tell you. And what really surprises me is the FBI involved. Why is the FBI involved at all? This is a local investigation. You got to remember what this is a shooting. It's a homicide. Yes, it's a high profile homicide, but at the end of the day, it's a homicide. And local police have jurisdiction over what happens there, right? They would be the ones investigating it. Now, if they suspected a conspiracy or terrorism or something like that, they might call in the FBI. So if they did that, that's why the FBI are there. But I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, all of a sudden, the FBI were there investigating this and took over. And really, it's not their place. And of course, the FBI can't arrest people and all. The FBI investigate people and take them into custody, but the arrests and everything else have to come from the Justice Department. They are investigators, Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's what they do. And I'm not saying any of the stuff that I just said is relevant. It may be just what it appears to be. A kid got a gun, went up on a roof, shot the guy dead, and took off, and then got caught. Was there another shooter, a real marksman that could take out Charlie with one shot? No problem. Was everything else just a distraction? All the people that were these fake people that they grabbed and thought they were the shooters and wasted their time on, and everything else? Was this kid a patsy? Who's really behind this? I mean, I know Kirk began to tie his cuts with Israel, and we know the Mossad is not beyond doing stuff like this. Stay tuned. It's deep. It goes deeper than I think we see, but we'll find out. I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. I said that to my buddy Gary Wilkins, and he said, we'll never probably know the truth. And I agreed. I said, who knows, right? So getting away from Charlie news for a little while here, for a minute, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention regional counselor Haley Bateman. She's been all over the internet. It's blowing up with her stuff because she made some disgusting remarks in a video that I saw on Facebook and everybody else saw about the Charlie Kirk assassination. I don't have the whole transcript, but basically she said Charlie Kirk got what was coming to him. That was the gist of what she said. The video was sickening, and people from across the region, places beyond, condemned her for it. I believe at some point she pulled the video. Reports are that she has taken down her Instagram account due to the backlash from her comments. Now, Bateman is known for her radical left-wing views. She was the one that wanted Palestinian terrorists with their scarves to delegate at regional council meetings and was involved in a protest at our own city we saw down here. Where certain members of the public, including her, were removed from the building for refusing to put down signs. I don't agree with the city for making them do that. And of course, they couldn't be arrested because they're in a public building, not causing a disturbance. So how can you arrest people in a public building? And I don't care what the policy is at City Hall or whatever. Policy isn't law, and that's the bottom line. And of course, all the local left-wing kooks like this Saleh Wazir drew it in. He posted a picture of Bateman that said, "We stand with Haley and stand against the campaign of hate." Like Councillor Bateman stands with us. And if I'm not mistaken, I read his name before. He's the head honcho of Niagara Region Anti-Racism Association. And I think he was the one that was speaking out in the review against what amounted to a peaceful rally last week by the Second Sons of Canada, which of course was called a racist white supremacist group by these guys. And of course, they're all supporters of anything alphabet and DEI. So that's the guy who said he backs Bateman. And once again, we see, that they think Charlie Kirk was a racist, a bigot, and any other name you could think of. They definitely hate Christians. This is who's supporting Bateman's video statements. Charlie got what he had coming. He wanted to get shot and worked towards it all his life. That's what Bateman said. Sick indeed. But the one thing is, she does have freedom of speech. That's right. They cannot kick her off council. Now, people are talking about her getting fired and being thrown out and everything. There's nothing they can do. Unless she resigns on her own, there's not a thing they can do. Now, we've seen it happen before at our city council with Carolyn Iannone. She was taken to the integrity commissioner for things she said, and he did suspend her for 3 months without pay. And also, she was booted off all the committees she was on, and I think that happened to her a couple times. So that's a way that somebody could do it, is take Bateman to the integrity commissioner, make a complaint, and see what they say about it. But he might say no. What she said, she has the freedom to say that. It wasn't disparaging. It was her opinion on the matter. She didn't slander or libel anybody. She just gave her view of it. And she has the right to her view. Who knows? We don't know what these guys are going to say. The best way to get rid of her is next year, 2026, when there's an election, and don't vote for her. Vote her out. Don't vote for her. Get rid of her. That's the best way to get rid of her. But there's a real fine line here between giving your opinion about her and what she did and persecuting her. In other words, if everybody keeps going after her hard, people are going to start feeling sorry, especially her base. And they're going to make sure she gets elected again. So, it's all right to say stuff about her and that. And so I'm saying this, and then that's it for me. I'm not going to talk about her anymore unless there's something in the news that comes up, like an Integrity Commission report and that kind of thing. I support the freedom of speech. I don't like what she said. It sucks. Shows low character for someone who's sitting on city council making decisions for the region, and that the decisions she makes are sometimes not what I think most of the people in the region would like to see. I don't think the majority of people are dancing on Charlie's grave. I think they're abhorred by what happened in that. I think she's taken a real low road here, and we expect more from our counselors, but from her, we don't. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth. But like I say, there are repercussions from your statements. You're responsible for your statements, especially when you put them in print. in social media where they're kept forever. And of course, the United States is doing things like firing people from businesses. The people in the United States are taking care of these guys. There's a database with 40,000 names on it of people who publicly celebrated Charlie's death. So they're out there. Who knows? Maybe Bateman's on it. And any Canadians and other people that don't live in the United States, if you've been online celebrating his death, and there's a lot, I've seen a lot of videos up there, especially young people and even old people, it doesn't matter because he's with Trump or whatever they think. They well, guess what? The border agency in the United States have your name probably. They've taken all the names down, they put them in a database, and they send it to the border. So if you have been talking about the Charlie Kirk death and you've been dancing on his grave, disparaging remarks or anything else, you may be in that database. You try to get over the border, you might not make it. So any of you that are out there on the internet, big mouthing and celebrating Charlie's death, I call it dancing on his grave. And you might be in that database. You try to go to Florida or something, you may not be able to go. You may get pulled over and said, no, you cannot go. You're not welcome here. You get down to Tampa because there's no pre-clearance in Hamilton, they might tell you to go home, put you right back on a plane. So anyway, just so you know that, like I say, freedom of speech, guaranteed. Consequences, not guaranteed. Did you see the story about a Pelham resident that started a campaign called Blink Nation 9/11? This is pretty interesting. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I want to get to my third sponsor, who is Hamel Machine Company, and I just saw the whole crew go by here. Hamel Machine's been around since 1948. They've been doing great work in Niagara Falls. For who? Well, for industry. I mean, for us too. Need anything done, you can take your job to Hamel Machine Shop. They're going to take care of you. You need something turned, you need something keyed, whatever you need. Fabricated, built, gates, anything metal, welded, 3D printers. They have water jet cutters. They do it all. But the thing is that they do a lot of work with industry, and industry depends on them. Why? Because industries can't afford to break down. When industry has a breakdown on one of their machines, what happens is they shut down and they lose money. Time is money. So they take their work to Hamel Machine Company. Call them up. Come on down and see it. They go down there. They look at it. And not only do they fix the part, re-engineer it, reverse engineer it if they have to, they also are innovators. They take the part and try to make it better, try to make it work better, try to make it more productive, because being more productive is being more money, getting more money coming in the door, more revenue. So that's what they do at Hamel Machine Company. They've done it for the wine industry. They've done it for the agricultural products industry. They've done it for food products industry. Hey, you know what? They ship their parts all over the world, their innovations. That's how good they are. And they're over here, right here on Bridge Street, their head office on Kent Street, I believe. Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948, a good corporate citizen. Go to hamelmachine.ca. You can see all the great work they do for the industry around here. And we thank them for being here since 1948. That's amazing in itself. And thank them for being good corporate citizens and helping everybody in the city, and especially industry who depend on them. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Okay, this Blink Nation 9/11. So this guy started a campaign called Blink Nation 911. He stands ahead of speed cameras with a big sign that says speed cameras ahead, and augments that with a blinking light on a construction helmet on his head. So this thing's blinking, you see it right away, and then you look at the sign and it says speed camera ahead. So what he's trying to do is warn people about speed cameras so they don't get a speeding ticket. His mission, to save taxpayers money from the speed camera cash grab. He does it all over the place. He started his media campaign about 3 weeks ago and takes videos about his warning standing there, takes videos about it, and they've garnered tens of thousands of views. So now when people go around, they look for guys doing this. Now, unfortunately, for Blink Nation 911 911, his efforts may no longer be needed because Doug Ford has said municipalities have to stop the cash grab and get rid of the speed cameras. And if they don't do it, they won't do it. He will. Good for the citizens that were being taken to the cleaners. A little bit bad for Blink Nation 911 911 because he's going to be out of business if there's no speed cameras. Maybe he'll take it to police with radar. Who knows? I got to thank him though because between him, the Blade Runner, and the painter, the cameras will soon be gone, and people are slowing down. If a blinking light with a warning can slow people down, why can't this be incorporated into a permanent warning to slow down? A big warning: slow down, school zone ahead, or wherever they want to put it. Slow down, high crash area. Food for thought. I go back to my statement. Please, anyone tell me of a case where a speeding driver has killed or even injured a child in front of the school. It just don't happen. I've never seen it. I've talked to 10 people and none of them have seen it either. So I must be onto something. I would say most accidents are at dangerous intersections, and we have a lot in the city, and really busy roads that are overcrowded with traffic that just can't handle it, like Lundy's Lane, Thorstone Road, McLeod Road, places like that. And I would say there's more speeders in neighborhoods. I see guys roaring around my neighborhood all the time. I wonder where the hell they're going, so why they have to drive so fast. There's kids around in that. They say speeding is down 9 kilometers an hour wherever they put these cameras, but I don't care about that. It's down nine kilometers an hour. I care about the results. What are the results of that? Has there been any less accidents? Has there been any less people killed? What are the results of charging people $116 for going over the speed limit by 2 kilometers an hour? What are the results of that? And 9 kilometers an hour slower isn't a result. People are slowing down. That's what they're trying to prove. But was there a problem when they weren't slowing down? That's what you got to compare it to. So I don't see the numbers. Speed cams making the road safer. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And they're going to be discussing that at City Council tonight because there's a motion by Lori Lococo, Councilor Lococo, to remove that. They okayed it last week, the new cameras, to cancel it because Ford's going to cancel it anyway. And that's one of the things that'll be on the council agenda we have to watch tonight. It's going to be good. Also, also, I think 9.4 is another big one. And I went through the agenda this morning to see if there's any changes. And I didn't notice any changes. So whatever we talked about yesterday, you can watch the show yesterday if you want and get the update on that. So let's make America mad. I mean, they're already mad at Canada, right? Trump's beside himself. He can't make a deal. Nobody wants to make a deal here. Our parliament just came back into session yesterday or something. Monday, Monday, I think, yesterday. And this guy's a joke, our prime minister. But he is our prime minister in all his wisdom, reconsidering the F-35 jet order from the United States. And to me, this is total lunacy. First of all, we're on the hook for 16 jets no matter what. We paid for them. They're bought and paid for. Now, that contract isn't just for the jets. You cannot send the jets here without parts, without training to deal with them, without training for pilots to fly them. And of course, maintenance levels are huge on these machines. And we know the parts and everything else that go with it. So we got 16 of these jets. Now, Carney wants to buy the other 62 because I think he was ordering 88. But he's looking to other suppliers. Now, riddle me this, Batman. If you go over to Sweden and order Saab jets, do you think they're going to be compatible with the F-35s? Now you're going to have two warehouses for parts because the parts of the F-35 don't fit the Saab. They're different planes. You're going to have two technology systems. You're going to have two sets of mechanics to deal with them. You're going to have two sets of training, two sets of pilots. They're different planes. I mean, it's just crazy, and they won't be able to cross over without training. It doesn't make any sense. It's going to cost us zillions to do this. So why not just order them all from the United States, make everybody in the States happy, make Trump happy. Maybe we'll get a deal signed on this, a trade deal. You know, everybody's nice. So it doesn't make sense. The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, and I don't get it. It's the same with the ferries for British Columbia being made in China and submarines being made in Germany. Listen, first of all, we can make the ferries here. We have boatyards here that can make them. So I don't know why they don't put them to work in Canada. And we can even make planes if we wanted to. I mean, that's what I would do. I would start up our aviation industry again and get our guys working on planes. We have the skill, we have the ability. We're not a bunch of dum-dums in this country. We can build planes. We had one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world at one time. Unfortunately, it got canceled, but I mean, there's no reason we can't build these boats and these ships, these submarines even, and these planes. Put people to work, put Canadians to work. But no, he's going to go to Germany for the submarines or Korea. Well, he wanted to go to Korea, and Trump said, "No, you're not getting them from Korea. If you do that, we're going to hammer Korea so bad they won't be able to sell them to you." So Trump's put the squash on some of this stuff already. But I don't understand why Carney's not looking inward. We need employment here. We need jobs here. We need good paying jobs. Why don't he put our people to work building this kind of stuff that we need? It doesn't make sense. Everybody that's working is going to be paying taxes. It's going to be good for the economy, guaranteed. I mean, no, we got a dum-dum. That's it. We got a dum-dum running the country. Let's face it. Come on. Carney is short for carnival worker, and that's what this is. Canada's a carnival. Okay, we're going to move on to Venezuela dispute in a second here, but first I'm going to get to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And you know what? I was just talking about them grabbing a whole burning Springs Hill that I was wrong about. Johnny Beam corrected me. Thank you, John JRB. But the Niagara Parks is really, really a spectacular organization. They are the caretakers of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkway in Canada, maybe in the world, all centered around one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls itself. But once you go down and see the falls and you see the splendor of it and watch it for a while, you go, okay, what's there to do now? What's going on around here? Well, the Niagara Parks Commission takes care of all that. They have a refurbished power station. They can take you through history, showing you how it runs and going through the waste tunnel right down to the edge of the Niagara River. They can take you through the scenic tunnels that take you to the brink of the falls. You can almost reach out and touch the water. You can go down to the Great Gorge Trip and see grade 6 rapids, so dangerous, boats can't navigate them. You can see the whirlpool, where the water takes a turn and goes out to Lake Ontario from Lake Erie once it crosses over the falls. Go right over it with Spanish Aero Car. They have restaurants, they have attractions, zip lines, butterfly conservatories, schools of horticulture where you can see plants from around the world, butterflies from around the world, things you wouldn't normally see when you walk around the outside in our pollinator meadow across the street. Niagara Parks Commission, they're the guys who run it all. And they're fantastic at doing it. You like goats? Hey, you can go see Bob Gale's goats down by Fort Erie. Instead of lawnmowers, he uses goats. It's amazing. Niagara Parks Commission, and we don't take advantage of it in Niagara Falls enough, but I recommend everybody from Niagara Falls get down there, especially for their latest attraction, Niagara Takes Flight. an immersive adventure down the Niagara River from Niagara Lake to Fort Erie, and it's just amazing. It goes through history. It takes you right down by the power stations, gives you the whole immersive voyage down there. It's a fantastic $25 new attraction. Spectacular. Niagara Parks Commission, NiagaraParks.com. That's where you go. You can see all the attractions. You can see everything. They'll show you their packages, attractions packages, parking tickets, everything. Niagara Parks Commission support our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. Okay, in Venezuela dispute. Well, the United States caught another boat carrying drugs, and they blew the hell out of it. Oh, wham! And Trump's not fooling around with these guys. I mean, it's so serious. Maduro there, and president of Venezuela, is putting his troops all along the border of the Caribbean in case there's an invasion. He's worried. The cartels are worried. And he's not holding off on them. He's called them all terrorist groups, and he's after them. Not only is he deporting every one of their members out of the United States as fast as he can, now he's starting to attack them in their home countries. And I mean, there is talks about him going into Mexico and blasting a few of these locations where they're really running some big time drug labs. So they're taking them all out. This is just another one. All the ships are sitting off the coast of Venezuela, waiting to go, just waiting for something to happen. Venezuela was buzzing our ships, the United States ships, with F-16 fighters, which they didn't shoot down, but they have orders that if they feel threatened, shoot them out of the sky. So no fooling around, no fooling around. Now, on United States soil, of course, the war on crime is unfurling nationwide, with Chicago being the next target. Gangs in Chicago, along with the loony left mayor and the governor, Johnson and Pritzker, are fighting back against Trump. They don't want him in there taking out these criminals. They'd rather have the gangs running the city. So they said they're going to fight the National Guard and ICE coming in. The politicians say they won't let them, and whether they want them in there or not, they're going in. So Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, the mayor, are fighting a war against Trump and the feds. Why they want to keep the criminal gangs running, I have no idea. But Johnson told his police force in Chicago to stand down. Don't help ICE agents. Don't help them do anything, but it doesn't matter. Homan said he's going to flood Chicago with ICE agents and National Guard, and they're going to take out these gangs and these criminals. So why they would rather see the police stand down and see gangs run the city rather than the police, I don't know. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world, except for Lola. That's all I got to say about that. Chicago's going to be cleaned up whether they like it or not. Over to the Middle East, we've had Israel making its final move into Gaza City, looking to end it all. Hamas threatening to bring the hostages that are left to the surface and expose them to the bombings, killings, using them as shields, basically. But Trump's had enough and told them to release the hostages or else suffer the consequences. We'll see what the terrorists do. And if they don't comply, then we'll see what Trump does. It'll be interesting. And that's about all I've got for today. There's a lot more news out there. I can't get to it all. It's crazy. It's crazy right now in the world. The world is a wacky place, and there's way too much going on. There's the highlights. I mean, we still have Alberta going to probably Wexit. They're going to be going for Wexit. Carney's doing nothing as usual. PP's back in the in the chamber, and he is standing up and bringing some good points to bear. And Carney's standing there looking like he's lost in space. Don't forget to tune into the council meeting today. Should be good. We'll see what they have to say. The meeting's at 4, but it's probably a really start in essence about 5, so you can have a couple of wings and a pizza from Pete's Pizza and wait for it. It's going to be at the Exchange this meeting. So for anybody thinking of going to the meeting, you're going to have to go down to the Exchange on Ferry Street, Sylvia Place. While City Hall's under renovations, they're having it at the Exchange. Of course, you can catch the show on YouTube or NiagaraFalls.ca. And I will see all Habs fans tomorrow with Habsolutely. And then I'm taking off for a couple days. I'll be gone for Thursday and Friday, so there will be no Your City, Your Voice on those 2 days. But I'll be back on Manic Monday to wrap up the rest of the week and see what happened. Who knows what's going to happen? It's day by day. There's something happening every day now. An hour show isn't enough, really, to be honest with you. There's just way too much happening. You're going to have to follow some of it yourself. I can't get it all. I can't get it all in. I do the best I can over here, and I try to give it to you straight and exactly what's going on the way I see it. I might not be right all the time, like Burning Springs Hill, but I do stand corrected, and that's why I want everybody to go watch the video, leave your comments, correct me if I'm wrong, comment if I'm right, what you think, because that's the fun of all this. The fun of all this is what people out there are saying when they're listening or when they're watching the video. Have a great day, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, the studios of 4680Q Radio. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and finally, Niagara Parks Commission. God bless you all. Have a great day. Keep the faith. I will see you, Your City, Your Voice people, on Monday, the 22nd, with Manic Monday. For Habsolutely fans, all you Habs fans, tomorrow at noon, live. Promises made, promises kept. We'll see you later. Have a great day.